Hey everybody, it's Pal Drew's Racy, another episode of Random Comics from my spinner rack, and boy oh boy do I love Daredevil, I really do. Cover by Gil Kane and Klaus Janson on the inks. Klaus had recently worked with Continuity Studios with Neil Adams, so he was one of the many people who followed in Neil's footsteps, and Klaus has always been one of my favorite inkers. So this issue of Daredevil, it says November in it, in 1975, going on 76. Well, it was a deception. This came out in August. For a while back, somebody at Marvel, I think, decided to bump the months ahead, so theoretically this could stay on the shelves for 3 months. And after a while, though, even the retailers or the dealers and newsstands, they caught on to it. They didn't keep the whole book for a month. They kind of knew, like, okay, November, here comes December, we get rid of these. So that's why it's so... The thing about November I hated was that was in August, right before going to school. And I hated going to school. So I'd see that. I had mixed feelings. I'm like, oh, this is a great issue. But I'm going to have to... I can't ride my bike as much. I can't play football with the guys as much, you know. You killed that man, Torpedo, and now you're going to pay. That is such an audacious title, but it works for me. Bob Brown unfairly got a lot of shit for his stuff in Avengers. He did it for like a year, and it was around the time of the Avengers Defenders War, written by Steve Englehart. And you know what? In all fairness, his team dynamics weren't as strong as he was with individual characters like Batman or Daredevil. So I find this to be substantially better than the Avengers stuff. And he puts a real ballet kind of grace into Daredevil's swinging and fighting style. One thing that's kind of weird, though, in the 70s, around this time, so many books, they would have action at the beginning, action at the end, and a ton of exposition in the middle. But it wasn't always exposition. A lot of it was the plot. It's just that it was just weird how that, and it was the same thing with Salva 7, Steve Gerber's Defenders, where they just decide, okay, well, you know, we got the middle here, we'll catch up, then towards the end, we start fighting again. That's great. You ducked, how did I know you were there? How did you know I was there? Beautiful figure, those back muscles, too. So he tells his story. What happened is the original Torpedo died in his arms after a building collapsed on him, and he made him. He somehow managed to tell him in this time all this, and he goes, "I told you, I'm not the same guy you fought before. Fact is, I never met him before he died, but he gave me papers which proved his story was true, and that was good enough for me. He was a scientist, trapped behind the curtain. Scam. It is a scam. Get your story straight, Fred, because you're going to be repeating it to the DA. And if I know Franklin Nelson, he'll go over your tail with a microscope and still not be convinced. I don't care what he believes me or not. I'm telling you the truth. The original Torpedo's family promised to buy his way out of Yugoslavia if he designed a special suit for them, a suit created for a super soldier of the future, a suit that would make Iron Man's armor look like a third-grade Tinker toy. He was desperate to leave the country, so he agreed to their demands, but when he arrived there, when he finally met his family, he knew they were all insane. And he was powerless to stop them, so he designed and constructed this uniform and used it to escape before they could force him to build more. Only he knew that he had a second set of plans, which they placed in the bank which they owned and they controlled. Holy crap. Really great art. A little bit, I mean, whoa, you know, we're getting the whole origin in 4 panels. So, ooh, Marvel value stamp. Let me get my scissors. See if anybody else has anything else. Okay. Oh, there you go. Dean Mullaney, right by my thumb. He was the co-publisher of Eclipse Comics for many years. And I think he worked in the early years at IDW. So, what's great about Bob Brown's art, he does a lot of follow-through. You know, it's not just punches, somebody goes flying, you know, punch again, go flying. There's just a lot going on. There's all kinds of maneuvers. It's really great storyboarding, pretty much, almost like for a TV show or a movie, but better. So they land in this suburban area, and they get lost in the fight. Because the two of them were just fighting, wrecking everything. I don't care about that stuff, Frankie. Just you stay here with me, with Kenny. Anger, Daredevil, you don't know the half of it. Blah, 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 blah. Amy, where are you? Amy! So, you know, this poor couple is... their houses get demolished because these guys just can't stop fighting. And, Mommy, Daddy, enough. I can't take it anymore. For God's sake, stop it. Both of you, stop it. I love that. That's just the aftermath. It looks simple, but it's not. It's just a horrible thought to have your house destroyed, whether it be by an earthquake, you know, acts of God, or superheroes. You both stopped. I almost don't believe it. I heard about you, Daredevil. I heard you were some sort of hero that helped people. Well, what kind of hero are you? What kind of hero? I don't know what to say, except I'm sorry. I don't need your apologies. I want you to get out of here. Next time you might not stop at destroying a house. Next time you'll take my baby, your husband, or maybe me. And Torpedo says, well, there won't be a next time. And he's hanging up his suit for a while. I don't care anymore. He hands papers to him. This is really, really great stuff. It's Marv Wolfman did some great stuff. I've said this before. He thought Daredevil was just something to get out of the way, you know, because nobody was writing it. And I think it was some of the very best work. Okay, 1986, I think it is. 85, Rawhide Kid comes back. Cowboy comics or Western comics are pretty much done. You know, Jonah Hex, which lasted a long time, it got canceled. Then it got revamped where Jonah Hex was in the future, and he was like a Mad Max type character. Gotta take some coffee in me, excuse me. Boy, that's really good. That coffee's really good. Yeah, that's the book series I have on Amazon. So, John Byrne cover. But the real grabber for me was Herb Trimpe and John Severin reuniting, and Bill Mantlo. Not a lot of people would sign their names on the bottom, but they did. And it's so gorgeous. Gosh, I mean, John Severin. One thing about John Severin, when he was doing a lot of the Western comics for Marvel and even DC, sometimes like Dick Ayers or others wouldn't get the guns right, or wouldn't get, and he was an expert on the designs of guns, so he would fix them while he's inking. And what happened is it's the turn of the century where cars are starting to come around. I heard tell someone came up with a carriage that ran without horses, but I think I prefer things being done the old-fashioned way. So he's an anachronism, and he knows it. And he's just sitting there having a drink. Beautiful salute image. Trimpe's just amazing. He's just, and you know, so stuff like this, I think more people should know. Like if you're a Trimpe fan, you know, check it out. It's good stuff. So they talk about all these, oh yeah, I remember you, blah, 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 with all these other people. You sit, the fastest gun of all, sit right there, Rawhide Kid. And he started getting, he goes, I run a respectable place. We don't serve outlaws like Rawhide Kid. I heard that a man's proven innocent till proven guilty, but I don't recollect ever having been convicted of any crime. We've seen your wanted posters. So he takes off. See his hair's fading, and some roughneck tries to get in with him, and he doesn't want to start. He goes, why are you blocking my way? You got all wrong, Mr. Kid. I just want to bask in your glory. I'll prove it to you. Let me buy you a drink. Outlaw who doesn't drink. He goes, I don't drink. An outlaw who doesn't drink? Haha, you're some kidder. Spits out his fake teeth after he gets slapped on the back. And they're like, take it easy, kid. He puts him back in his mouth. He goes, you gotta admit, it is kind of funny for a dude who's supposed to be the toughest son of a gun in the whole wide west. Has a hard time hanging on to his own teeth. Yeah, it's real funny, friend. You know, if this was an ongoing, I would have bought it. It was only a mini-series, and terrific stuff. Terrific, look at that. The coloring is real smart, too. It's nighttime. How about that? It's nighttime, and there's just this, it's like this one tone. That's one shade of pale blue. So, wonderful stuff. Wonderful, wonderful. Now, the thing is, the only unfortunate thing was he meaning John Severin, he only inked the first issue, but then he was doing stuff for Cracked magazine, I think, still. And but here's the second issue. I just wanted to show that Keith Pollard, pencils and inks, great stuff. That Gary Talek took the place of Severin, and you know what? Good call. Good call. Because you're still getting that feel, that rugged, kind of grimy feel. So, really recommend it. Check it out, everybody. So, Green Lantern Corps. I didn't grow up a big Green Lantern fan because I guess I didn't like the origin. It also the premise that he's without fear. Because I always feel like if you don't have any fear, you're kind of, you know, you can like walk into a trap, or to me it smacks of carelessness. It's like, I'm not afraid of this guy, and all of a sudden he stomps you instead of you going out and getting backup. So Truck shows up. So in the wake of Crisis on Infinite Earths, the very first one, Green Lantern, all the Corps all over the place got decimated, except maybe 8 of them, which are in this book now. So now it's a team book. It's the second amazing issue. That's because 200 was the final Green Lantern issue where they build this up, and then 201 was the Green Lantern Corps. So this is the second issue. So they learned that from Marvel to kind of say, hey, this is a new book. And it's by Joe Staton, inked by Mark Farmer, story by Steve Englehart, letters by L. Lois Buhalis, and looks very much like Tom Orzechowski. And then when I looked at it after the fact, she had learned, he was her mentor or girlfriend or wife or something. I apologize if I don't remember, but she did a lot of stuff like Sam and Max. So I just love Joe Staton's stuff. It has to be on the right stuff, though. Oh, these artists. So here's Truck. Look how smudgy that is. That's just a printing error. But Truck is like one of the goofiest. It actually reminds me of the second Amazing Spider-Man, where the Rhino was in that big, clumsy costume. The movie I'm talking about. All kinds of stuff going on. And you know what? I started collecting the book with this because I like the ancillary characters more. Angel Love is cocaine. So, very odd book. So I'm sure somebody could review that somewhere. I like, come on, man, focus. There we are. I love that man's face because all the crevices and everything, it just seemed very, you know, a lot of times people draw an old man with just basically the same face, but they might add a line or two. So there's Arissa, whatever her name is. I can't say her name right. She passes out, and you'll later learn that she was going through puberty. So here comes Chip, the Green Lantern. I know a lot of people hated him, but I thought he was really funny. Of course, I like Captain Carrot and the Amazing Zoo Crew too. So he's looking up the book for the closest critters that resemble him, because his whole planet was decimated, and he was the only one left standing. So he goes over to the squirrels. I don't speak. No, I know you don't speak any language. I know, but my ring can let us talk. And I don't get it. Their brains are so primitive. They're not like me. They're just animals. Ooh, there's some kind of buzzer outside. Yeah, some of these villains are just really stupid. I mean, Marvel has their share of them too, but definitely needs an upgrade. I mean, this is 1986. I'm not saying everything has to be Watchmen or Dark Knight, but some of these characters are just really need a upgrade. Like even the Trapster, you know, he got a cool costume thanks to Byrne. There. So we got Truck. Now this I picked that. I got it from the dollar bin at Dave's Comics in Fayetteville, Georgia. He's not paying me to do it. I just like to say it because I get so many great books there that are just obscure. I mean, there's not a lot of demand for like issue 92 of Firestorm, which ended with a neat issue 100. It was just clean. I love when series are able to do that. Ronnie Raymond's still sort of around, but he's no longer the same. They decided to make Firestorm an earth elemental, just like Swamp Thing is, you know, of the earth, of the ground, and he is the fire elemental. And it totally subverted Ronnie Raven's personality. And in fact, I don't even know if I just picked this up. Okay, get off my back, man. Well, the art intrigued me. Tom Mandrake's really good. He did the Spectre for a few years. So that's basically establishing shot. And that's just stunning. The line work is really sharp, and he's inking himself. Oh my gosh, I love that. I like how the sound effect fits in there. I wonder if even Mandrake actually decided to lay that out that way, because that does seem like a very deliberate layout. So all kinds of chaos is going on, and this artwork is just stunning. The sales have been dropping off, and there's Dr. what's his name? The guy from the other half of Firestorm. Yeah, Martin Stein. Wow. And he gets the lines that he's pulling here for the faces and everything. They're so gorgeous. It reminds me of a cross between, like, it seems to be like Dennis Cohen inspired or Mark Beckham inspired, or there's other people who use that very wispy stuff. I mean, Kevin Nolan too, except his is much more, nobody could touch Nolan as far as inks. But that whole thing there with the lines, man, I love doing that. I love inking that kind of stuff. And so more of that going on. So it's more talky of an issue, but the artwork itself is magnificent. That is great. I never thought Red Tornado would look cool before, but he looks cool there. Look at it. And then we got a real treat. We got a real treat. Swamp Thing. Wow, Mandrake's definitely going for the Stephen Bissett, John Totleben / Rick Veitch look, and it's great. He could have easily filled in on one of those issues because he's got that all down. He's got the thin line work. He borrowed the Totleben line work on Swamp Thing there. That's just great. I love that Swamp Thing era. The hands. Oh my gosh. Pretty spiffy, huh? He's doing that. That was something that was established a year or two prior in Swamp Thing's own book. So I haven't read any more, but I may pick up some more because I really like that. Now, here is the crème de la crème. It's Defenders number 18. Now, I know a lot of guys in the comics business, about my age or so, I'm middle age, who worship this issue because it's just a slobber knocker fight fest and it's glorious. This is a really interesting pairing on the cover. It's Gil Kane inked by Dave Cockrum, and Dave Cockrum's inks are just so powerful and bold, and it looks great. Kind of, this is so wacky. It's like he's got all these powers, and yet he bitch slaps a pile driver over there. Very weird. But when this came out, I saw that, and then I saw all these characters fighting. I'm like, yeah, I gotta get it. First appearance of the Wrecking Crew. They actually appeared the last 2 pages of the previous issue, And so many people are fans of the Wrecking Crew, mostly because of this issue. It's really wild. Dave Hunt is doing the letters, and I'd mentioned before that even like Bill Mantlo would start off just doing colors, all this other stuff, but Len Wein wrote it, and Sal delivered the goods, as did the late Dan Green, 1974. This was it was school. But it is just a blast. There's so much going on. I love that. Bulldozer. I love that guy. What's that guy? Oh, from King of the Hill, they could have the Bulldozer. And if you're into King of the Hill, you know what that means. Bah! So there's Valkyrie. She's trying to deal with her past. Valkyrie, basically, what happened is through sorcery, Barbara Norris, just a regular mortal female on Earth, ends up being the host body to the Valkyrie, and who is powerful and has no recollection of her own. Or she doesn't. She's just aimless, and she's trying to reclaim some of the life that Barbara Norris had, just to kind of associate herself with something. She feels adrift. And here we go, Thunderball kick. I used to draw him all the time fighting. Luke Cage gets a garter, bops it back. Man, that's sweet. I love these little things at the bottom. Doctor Strange guards himself for the final battle with the silver dagger. When I was a little kid, I used to draw my own comics. I always wrote those little things at the bottom. Upon you entered the street. That is awesome. You okay, Cage? When I was a kid, my father taught me how to use one of these rigs. Never thought it would come handy till now. He tries to stop Bulldozer, just thunders on. Thunders on. And here comes Doctor Strange. The weird thing with Doctor Strange, though, is it's not just Ween or Gerber or whatever. He sort of became just another superhero. He kind of lost the special. Like right here, you would easily say, oh, he's just a superhero. He's not. He just happens to know magic. So, all right, I'm going to tell you a story. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's such a good book. We're still #1, but we still try harder. That is a great Kirby-esque face on record there. So, what is it? Doctor Strange tries to put the Whamma Jamma on him, and no luck. And it's because he has a force field protecting everybody, the outsiders, the public, and the Mystic Barrier is getting bashed by the Hulk, who just shows up, and he doesn't understand anything. He's just beating on it, and he's, causing Doctor Strange to get a migraine, pass out, all those things. Hulk, cool it, man. You don't know what you're doing. And down goes Strange. Amazing follow through there. Garbage is where Tin Can Head belongs. Wow. Oh my gosh. I would love to ink this. That throws back to almost like John Buscema. Sal's kind of channeling some of John. And comic books are great. Come on. I got you. There. Okay, so a little more fight. Love Nighthawk. I like drawing him. I found the bomb. I found the case, but the case is empty. So this is a book that you can close it, start reading it all over again. It's just a big, wacky, big ass slugfest. Just kind of like, like in the 70s, you had a lot of those goofy kind of fights, like Every Which Way But Loose, and you had Hooper with Terry Bradshaw taking on Burt Reynolds and all that. That kind of like saloon type brawl kind of stuff is always fun, and that's why so many people in my peer group love this issue. It really inspired them. It's just so, I can't quite describe it, but a lot of fun. So anyway, thanks for checking this out, and you have a great day. Okay, everybody, bye.